What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi. You guys listen to episode 551, I believe. Want to thank everybody for checking out last week's episode. I was in studio in New York City with Jim Florentine. By the way, I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. You guys are going to be getting a lot of in studio. You saw how cool it looked. So, you know, we're not going to phase the Zoom out, but there's going to be a lot less Zoom and a lot more studio coming up. Next week, I have another guest, comedian, filmmaker Mike Young. Awesome stories. So you guys are going to love that. And yeah, but here I'm flying solo. I'm going to do a quicker one today for the Virzi Effect this week. And then next week, you got a longer one with Michael Young. And yeah, and some more guests. So write in to the show, or at least let me know which guests you would like to see. And yeah, and you guys will be seeing a lot more stuff in studio. Like I said, shout out to of course my producer extraordinaire Andrew Themlis, and also the producer that helps me in studio in New York, a funny comedian from Atlanta, Mike Albanese. So check him out as well. Everybody who is listening to the Virzi Effect, I thank you. If you're watching it, I thank you. Old fans, new fans, you can listen and watch the Virzi Effect everywhere you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. Tell a friend, write a review. It helps the show. And there you go. Let's get into this episode. I know I have a cut on my face right here, but that's all right, because I'm still a handsome Sicilian Greek kid. No, not really. Yeah, I am. What the hell is going on in the NFL? I'm going to get into it, obviously, more with the Anything Better podcast with myself and Bill Burr. We do that show, but man, what a weird weekend of football. But my New York Football Giants, I was at the game. 2-0. I will take it. It wasn't pretty, but we ended up pulling it out. And I knew going to the game that the Carolina Panther fans would not travel well, and they didn't. There was not a lot of fans there. It's not like when you go to a game and you have Packer fans or Raider fans or Cowboy fans, or like the teams like that travel well. Their fans travel well. They're a little more obnoxious. The nice thing was, MetLife Stadium. Yeah, there were some Carolina fans around, but they're a little quiet, subdued, nothing crazy. Because a lot of times when you go to games, you can, you can just have your time ruined. I've had my time ruined by a Cowboy fan 2 times sitting behind me. They're the worst. They are really the absolute worst. And I'm not saying that because they're a rival. They're the worst. But I'm going to say this, and some of you guys may agree, may not agree. I've talked about it before on the show. But the older I get, having a family, having kids, going to a game is really, really not that great of a time anymore. It's really not. And here's why. Because we live in a time where things are so divided in life, okay? In life. You got people watching Fox News. You got people watching CNN. And if you're the other one, you're the enemy. There's no common ground, like we always talk about. There's no, hey, I disagree, you disagree, but hey, cheers, let's have a beer, I love you. There's none of that. And that carries over into sports, because all of that angst people have about the shit that the media is giving us, it's the same shit going on with sports. So, for example, we're there, and I'm sitting there, and my son and daughter, they're impressionable. They're little. They're 13 and 10. These are little kids, and we have seats where 2 sit here and 2 sit behind us. Okay, 50-yard line. And we're up high, but first row up high. So me and my son were the first row. My wife and daughter are the second row. There's a guy across the aisle and his girlfriend, and he's standing up, and they gave towels, and he's waving the towel, and he's doing everything. And then he would stand up. A guy behind him and his wife are sitting back there. The guy goes, hey man, people really can't see and the guy was kind of a dick about it. The guy went about telling the kid, he did it like a dick. So my son obviously sees this shit going on. He sees the shit going on, and he's like, Dad, like, what's going on? Like, this is fucking weird. and I'm like, no, it's fine. So apparently I go to the bathroom and to get some food and some drinks for everybody. I come back and I find out there was an incident. And my son has a weird look on his face. And I go, what's going on? He goes, I'll tell you later. And Stacy, my wife, was like, just talk about it later. So I knew that something bothered my son. Apparently what happened was the guy stood up and the other guy came down and said, stop. And they had a whole thing. And then the woman comes down and the woman goes, we're going to call security if you don't do it. And there's this big fucking fight. And apparently the guy goes, I'm sorry, your seats suck. And the whole thing was just this thing. And it made my son feel a certain way. Now, what happens if that guy smacks the other guy? There's a big fight and it comes over into our side. We were right there. And now my 13-year-old son or my 10-year-old daughter or wife get hit, or they get, and there's big screaming stuff. That's going to fucking make a kid never want to go to a game. They're going to remember that forever. There was also something online where a father and son were at a Pittsburgh Steelers game, and a woman and a guy were fighting, and the woman just took a beer and threw it all over the father's face. And the little boy just breaks down crying and melts down. And it's like, that's his memory of being at a Steelers game with his father, is some fucking fight with some woman and water all over and beer all over his thing. Even if the father's right or wrong, the point of what I'm saying is, like, it's not cool anymore. We went to a Yankee game and even the players on the field were looking by the first base side. Up behind the dugout, there's a giant fight and people are swinging, and it was amongst Yankee fans. They were both Yankee fans fighting. And it's just like, you're supposed to, that shit didn't really happen back in the fucking 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And you want to know how I know? Because look how people dressed. When you see those games where Mantle was there, or even before that was, DiMaggio or Ruth and Gehrig and stuff, rest their souls. When you watch that, these are people in suits that left work early and went to the ballpark, and they got a paper in their hand and they're eating a hot dog and they're in a fucking full suit. They're not there for nonsense. Now, I'm sure there were probably arguments back then, but now it's this whole, like, you're the problem with the world, fuck you. And it goes on to sports, and it's absolutely unacceptable. That's the unacceptable for the week. The unacceptable for the week is you pay money, you bring your family. Somebody else pays money and brings their family, and you're spending a shitload of money. Not that it matters, because you're going to spend it, but you're still spending it. You're spending, 2 drinks is $24. If me and my wife got like 2 White Claws, it's like $12 each or $8 each. That's $16 right there. My kids get waters. That's like they're charging $5, $6 for water. Okay. You want to go get a sausage and pepper. You want to go get, chicken fingers and French fries, whatever. All that shit costs, money. So not to mention the tickets are $100 each. So it's like you're spending $500, $600 to be there with your family and enjoy a game. And because some drunk asshole is doing something or acting a fool, alcohol turns people into assholes. I got to tell you something, man. I'm good with not going. I'm good with not sitting in the traffic. Again, Madison Square Garden and Knicks games, for some reason, watch, it'll happen this year. Doesn't happen that much. I got to be honest, there's way more, maybe because the venue's smaller. I think that has something to do with it too. Madison Square Garden's like 18,000. There's security everywhere. People are so happy to be in that building. You're inside. It's just, there's a better feel to it. You go to these baseball games where it's outside with 50,000, or these football games, 80,000 fucking people. And people are just going to drink, act a fool, throw up. You guys saw that clip of that. We did it on the Anything Better. There's like a grandmother in a Cincinnati Bengals outfit. She starts throwing up all over the place. I mean, it was fucking unbelievable. It's like, it's just an element of gross and sad and scary all at the same time that I don't fucking need. Nobody needs it. So my suggestion is, throw on your fucking 55, 75-inch, whatever TV, sit in your house, have the temperature comfortable in your house, pour yourself a drink, put your feet up, and watch the game with the few people that you love without having some fucking lunatic and his wife. And the guy who went down and talked to the kid, he was probably right, but he went about it in an asshole way. He really did. He went about it in his way that was just kind of shitty. And then the guy and his girlfriend were like, get over it. And it was just a shitty thing. And the kids are looking at it. I mean, what happens if there's punches are thrown and somebody, think about this for a second. What happens if there's like a melee with four friends and your family's in the middle of it and somebody you love gets hit? Then what? Then you're going to end up killing somebody, trying to punch the shit out of somebody, and then you get arrested? It's not worth it. So get enough money to get into a suite. Get enough money to get into a suite or watch it at home. And I know what you're saying. Holy shit, Paul. This is like first world problems. Give me a break. It's a part of it. It's a part of it to a certain extent. It's a part of it to where people could like have a quick argument, but go all the time and see what happens. Seriously, like all the time now. It's just this, it's always like some shit, and you don't really feel it until you see your kids scared, you know? And I know a lot of people can't afford to have a suite all the time, or like, you know, seats that are like, you know, I'm not saying that I do that. I don't stay in a suite. I'm just saying that now I would rather almost try to get a hookup, or like, you know, do like one game a year, pay some money to get like something where you're not in those elements, is all I'm saying. So yeah, I mean, I remember one time we went and it was my whole family, and there's a Cowboy fan standing behind us just screaming. And then they do a tribute to like old Giants. Guys go, man, get the fuck out of here. It's like, yo, man, there's kids, like they're happy to be here. Like you can cheer and clap loud for your team, or when your team does something, but don't do that. Like, have a little fucking respect. Does anybody have any fucking respect anymore? Seriously. That's why I always think of that scene from A Bronx Tale when Chaz Palminteri is like, you know what? They spoke like gentlemen. That bar scene with the bikers. He goes, just a couple beers. You'll be, hey, he goes, yeah, man, just a couple beers. We'll be on our way. And they go in there and then they fucking spray everywhere and they're throwing stuff. And Chaz Palminteri closes the door and he goes, now you can't leave. And they beat the shit out of him and stuff like that. It's like sometimes you think of that scene and you're like, wow, some people really need that. Some people need that ass beaten or that fear to realize that you did it one too many times, and something tells me you're never going to do it again. So, and maybe I know what you're saying. Holy shit, Virzi's getting older. Maybe I am. But did you ever like going to a game and feeling that? Did you ever like, you know? I remember one time I saw one of the most gangster things I ever seen in my life. And, you know, it was at Yankee Stadium. So like the woman was like, I was just like, I can't believe this, and this is going to happen with rivalries, but the Red Sox were playing the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. And it was fucking harsh, man. And Red Sox fans are chanting and they're yelling shit. And this is before, I'll never forget, this is 03. I believe this was 03. So this is like 20 years ago, man. Wow. And I'm walking down and there's Red Sox fans are talking shit. And there's a mother holding two little kids by the hand, like each kid in the, you know, hands. And I'll never forget this. These like Red Sox fans start yelling at the mother. Like, yeah, you know, like whatever they were saying, like Yankees suck or blah, blah, blah. And the mother just said something. She goes, your relatives who saw the Red Sox won, they're all dead. They're all dead. You don't even have a live. And it was just one of, and the way she, dude, it was like a soccer mom. And she held her composure and she's holding on to these two kids. And I don't know if she felt threatened by these guys. I don't know. But she just said that. And I remember being like, holy shit, whoa. And the kids, the Red Sox kids just got like quiet and actually thought about what she said. I thought about it and I was almost like, oh my God. And in my mind, like, even if you're like, oh, that's cool, like she got them, which she did, it's almost like being around shit like that. It's like we're watching a baseball game. If you really think about it, you're watching everybody does this and sings a national anthem because it's all the same country. And then when that's done, it's like, that's the fucking enemy. And I do like that part of it, but I just, you know, and I guess you guys would have to have a child there have the feelings that you could see your kids have when they see an altercation, you know. And you got to think about being 10 years old and seeing people that are their parents' age acting like that, drinking and yelling, and it makes them worried. So anyway, there you go. I just think, you know, and well, let's be honest, man, what's better than being home, lighting up a stick, pouring yourself a drink? You make the snacks you want, you call the restaurants, you want to bring food. But let's talk about fitness, guys. I am officially getting healthy. I'm done. I yesterday went to the track, did miles. I think I did over 4 miles at the track yesterday. I probably ended up doing a total of 5 miles yesterday. You know, eating better, and I am really going to try to slim down. Your boy's got some acting coming up, I think. So I'm trying to just, you know, just feel better, man. Like, it sucks too. That's the other thing about getting old is, like, you know, you can't do the shit. My son's health teacher told him, she was, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, you can eat anything you want until you're about 20. Remember those days, guys? Remember the days of eating anything you want? It's over. It is over. And it's you know how you know you're getting older too? When you see actors and actresses that when you were a kid, they were like in top shape. And now you look at them and they're not even that old. They're like 40, between 48 and 55. And they just went to they just blew out. And you're going, oh my God. My doctor told me that too. My doctor goes, if you don't work at it, if you don't do shit, he basically said, you're going to be a fucking blown out piece of shit. And he was talking about anybody in general. He goes, anybody in the world, once you hit 50, if you don't watch what you eat, work out, exercise, and really concentrate on it, you're going to blow out and be a piece of shit. And let's be honest, it's really, really hard to take people out to go get burgers, and you're watching somebody throw down a cheeseburger and French fries, and you don't take a fry. My son got chicken fingers and fries at the game. I'm sitting next to him. I probably had, I would say, close to probably 19, 21 fries. I mean, who's counting? But it's hard. It's hard to see pizza, to see burgers, to see chicken fingers. How about this? How about somebody orders 2 dozen wings and you got buffalo wings sitting in front of your face? You got a nice thing of blue cheese, a nice thing of ranch, whichever your preference, and it's sitting right in front of you. And guess what? You smell that Frank's Red Hot going in your nose. You smell it, and it's sitting right there. Oh, you see a big drumstick that you could grab like this, all fucking white meat when you bite that puppy, and you're not going to touch it. It's hard. It's hard. But, you know, what I've been doing is I've been like listening to people talk about stuff. And I learned a bunch of shit. Rogan had a guy on saying some wild shit that, like, if your stomach gets bigger, your brain gets smaller. Fuck that. You know, there's all kinds of shit when you get older that happens. Testosterone goes down. It's like, nah, man, I'm not good with that. So they say if you do a certain amount of push-ups a day, your risk of heart attack, cardiac arrest goes down. You got to fucking do it. And we all know people, even if it's not us, we all know somebody that we love. Everybody listening to this right now has somebody that they love that is really in a fucking tough spot right now. Okay. Everyone's got that one friend who fucking sweats when you're sitting in air conditioning because they're overweight. You know, everybody's got that friend who breathes like they're fucking, they're breathing like the notorious B.I.G. rest his soul when they're at rest. That's not okay, man. If you love somebody and you hear them breathing like they just sprinted a lap around a track, but you guys are sitting down having pasta, fucking say something. Say something. And I'm not making light of it. Like, it's funny because we're obviously you're joking, but like at the end of the day, I'm not making light of somebody that's health risk could kill them, because that shit can. You know, people that are breathing like that, people that are doing that, man. It's like, nah, you gotta look, you got one body, man, and you gotta treat it like that. You gotta try to treat it like that. I'm not trying to listen. This is not some fucking health seminar. I know it's a comedy podcast. Relax, assholes. I'm just saying, we all know somebody that could use a little help. I'm sure we could all use a little help. But it's sad. It's sad to see that. You know, I remember I was at a game with my wife's uncle, and I was just we were in the owner's box because it was right after I did my Comedy Central special. And like when you know people there and you did like a special, you have you on a list and it said like Paul Virzi, Comedy Central, blah, blah. So I got it that we get these amazing seats. And you know, we go into the owner's suite and like you're eating sushi. And I'm eating shit. I'm hungry, I'm eating it. And I remember he just goes to me, Paul, when you get older, you really can't eat like that. I mean, I was eating like I was going to I was like the death penalty. Like I was going to the chair. I was eating. And because there's just sushi, oh, shrimp cock, and you just start eating shit. And it's like, no, you can't do that. Speaking of, I played golf with him. I played golf with my wife's Uncle Bob, great guy. And we played at a really hard course. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I was hitting it good. I had one of those shots where there's this course that I played had 67 sand traps along the sides of the fairway, in the middle of the fairway, over by the greens, all these sand traps. And I'm going, shit, man. And I'm playing really good. I parred the first one. I bogeyed the second hole, which is the hardest hole on the course. I pars, birdie. I almost had back-to-back birdies. I was playing well. After going into 12 holes, this is one of the longest courses I played too. Going and by the way, mind you, I play maybe 12 rounds of golf a year. Okay, 12 rounds of golf a year. If I'm lucky, sometimes less than that. Last year was less than that. All right, I'm like probably like an 18 handicap, and I don't play a lot. And I go into the 12th hole like 10 over. So I'm literally like, if I stayed at that pace, I'm going to shoot an 82 on a really hard course. Now, unfortunately, I had 3 really bad holes on the back 9, so I ended up not shooting an 82. But obviously, I broke 100. I played well. But there's this one hole. Not that you guys give a shit, but if you do, I'll just tell you. I haven't talked about any of my golf rounds, so I figured, hey, what the hell? There's no guest. There'll be a guest next week, but there's no guest today. So I'm hitting like it's a par 4, and I'm hitting 4. And I'm 210 yards out. Okay. That's kind of a daunting thing when you got to bang a 210 footer to make par. So I say to Bob, I go, I'm just going to go for it, man. I'm just going to take my 3 and I'm just going to unload this thing. And he goes, hey, what do you got to lose? And I kept my head down. I took my practice swings and I belt this thing. Not only does it go 210, it goes a little over and just right off of the green. And I end up doubling it, I think. I ended up doubling it. But from where I was, from having to bang a 210 foot, for par, I ended up getting it really like basically on the foot off the green. And I think I ended up doubling it. But and those are the shots that keep you coming back. And we're gonna go golf. We're gonna go golf in Arizona because we are doing a private live Anything Better podcast in Arizona. But we are gonna play out there and do all that shit. But anyway, and I don't mean to get it. Listen, I don't mean to get anybody down. I think part of the reason why I was talking about that like health shit and stuff was because I was seeing that I was like, yeah, there's bad food around me all the time, and you just have to have discipline. That's really what it is. People are always like, oh man, you can't buy this, and you can't buy time, and you can't buy this, you can't buy. You know what, too? Like, you can't buy discipline. Say fucking no. That's the thing. Say no. If you're married and a woman comes up to you and you're not a piece of shit who cheats on your wife, what do you say? Yeah, thank you. No, thank you. You know, thanks, but no thanks. You know, same thing with food. You're on a diet. You're doing good. Somebody throws a chicken cutlet, peppers, fresh mutts on on soft baguette. That's a tough no. But you gotta say no. That's a tough no, man. All right, let's get off of food because I'm on a diet, and I swear to God, this talk about it makes me I really want to go over to I want to go over to fucking deli out here and go grab something. But anyway, what else is there to talk about? Guys, I'm really not. It's going to upset some of you. I'm sorry. But I do have to talk about the president for a second. I have to talk about Joe Biden for a second. And again, if you know me, if you know my comedy, if you've seen my special, if you've seen either of my specials, you know that I am not a political guy. I make fun of everybody, make fun of Trump, make fun of Biden. If you watch Nocturnal Admissions, my special, which is streaming right now on Netflix, go check that out. The reviews are in. Things are going very well. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching it. Send it to a friend. It is doing extremely well globally, and I could not be more humbled or thankful, grateful, the whole thing. But I talk about how I did not vote for Trump or Biden, and I did the regular voting, and then I did a write-in for Eli Manning, which is true. I voted for Eli Manning. But guys, I got to be honest, man. Like, I'm watching this, and I know some of you voted for him and whatever. It's your right. It's great. Dude, Biden, you can't tell me. You just simply can't sit. You cannot tell me. If you tell me that there's nothing wrong with that man mentally, then you are in denial, because this dude is shaking hands with people that aren't there. He's fumbling up words that it's just really like, I'm just going like, what is going, can we one time, I'm talking about this in my new hour. Can we one time just have like a 37-year-old sharp, good looking fucking guy, 007 looking guy, come out, tux, hair slicked back, one time, smoking a cigar, maybe sunglasses, something. Can we just have some? This guy looks, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I just saw a clip where they were like, you're the oldest president. He was like, in pretty good shape, huh? So he didn't even look like he was there. That's my problem. See, this is my problem. You know what my problem is? During the election, when you said to somebody, hey, man, that guy's a little fucking old and out of it, and they automatically think you like Trump, and they're like, no, he's not. That's what the media said. And it's like, no, he is. He's fucked up. He's fucked up. That's the problem. You can't say what's real, because if you say something, automatically it's because they think that you're the other way with either. You could say the other thing. You could be like, oh, dude, did you hear Trump, what he said, though? He actually had like a good point there. What are you having Klan meetings? And I'm like, no, I didn't vote for the guy. I'm just saying, did you see what he said? Or like, yeah, Biden looks a little old. What are you It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just saying. The problem is you can't say what it is, but the truth is our president and the president of the United States of America is shaking hands with people that aren't there. And he's forgetting he's shaking hands with somebody he just shook hands with fucking 2 Mississippis ago. It's a fucking problem. Okay? It's just a problem. That guy starts talking and it turns into I never seen anything like it. He'll be like, yeah, say what, I'm sorry. What? It's like, what? What? I get mad at people when you tell them that, and because they think it's an agenda, or because they lined up and voted for this fucking guy that's old, that they get mad at you because you're telling the truth, and they just can't accept the fact that they fucking, Well, what's the alternative, Paul? I didn't like the other guy. All right, well, do research on the fucking independent guy, or vote for Eli Manning. How about that? Everybody should have voted for Eli Manning. Eli Manning should become the president of the United States. I'm serious. Who better? He's fair. He's nice. He's an oh shucks guy. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. A guy that only knows X's and O's football. I'm like, put him in there. Let him deal with Vladimir Putin. Could you imagine if Eli was dealing with Putin? He'd be like, hey, I hate to bother you. I know it's Sunday night and everything. Can you send back Brittany Grenier? Yeah, I don't know. I see this shit on TV and I'm just like, there needs to be a network called like, what the fuck is going on? Just channel 15. Like, or is that serious? There just needs to be a network for logical people like us. If you're listening to this show, I'm going to just go out on a limb and say, if you're listening to the Virzi Effect, you're listening to me, you're logical. You're logical, you're smart. And what's the word, everybody? You're absolutely reasonable if you are listening to this show. We need a channel for people like that. Not a channel that goes one way for one side and a channel that goes the other way. Just a channel where the news anchors are going, what the fuck? Are people nuts? How great would that be? Like, oh, did you guys see this? Look at this lunatic. And you have something from the left and you make fun of that. Then you have something from the far right and you make fun of that. And you just start shitting on everybody and you start talking about how the whole world has gone crazy and everything like that. That's a channel that I'd invest in that channel. Just wow. Just tune into WOW for this fucking lunatic. Crazy. Of course I'm getting text. Let's see. Anyway, guys, I have to tell you, and I'm really serious about this. This is going to be a shorter podcast because I have to take my son to the doctor, and but don't worry, we have there's more where that came from, everybody. We got a good show next week, and I'm working on some other guests, but I really have to thank everybody in Pennsylvania, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, who came out to Soul Joel's Comedy Dome. I cannot say enough good things about this. They moved locations. Soul Joel's Comedy Dome in Pottstown, Pennsylvania was absolutely everything you would hope or want in a comedy show. Respectful audience members, a lot of audience members, anything goes. They just want to see comedy. They're fun-loving. They're great. They're happy you're there. They're happy to be there. I had such an amazing time doing my new hour there. And shout out to Soul Joel's. Shout out to the Comedy Dome. Guys, if you are in that area, go and support all of these shows because it truly is amazing. I'm so thankful for the turnout. Had a lot of people come out there, didn't know what to expect. It's a new location, and it was really, really an awesome time. So if you were one of those people, I want to thank the lovely woman who gave me a gift bag with a bottle of vodka in it and baby wipes for an inside joke. I really appreciate that. And I just not enough nice things to say about it. When you drive too, and that's the other thing, when you drive that far and you're in the car for 3 hours, you don't know what to expect. And you're kind of like, all right, of course my phone is ringing, and it's my producer, Andrew Themlis. I got to just chill right now for a second. Okay. You don't know what to expect. You've been in the car forever and you're tired and you hope it's good, and you're outside and people are sitting in under this comedy dome. There's sand. People have their own chairs, and it couldn't have been a better experience. So go support it. Thank you guys so much for coming out. And I have to plug some dates here because I'm coming to London for an added show. We added a show in London. The first show, October 7th, is fully sold out, but we started selling tickets for the next night, which is 10 p.m. Saturday, October the 8th. That's October 8th. So if you're out there in London, you couldn't get into October 7th, October 8th at 10 o'clock, 21 Soho, I will be there. That's Saturday night. We're selling tickets for that, and hopefully that one sells out as well. So come out there. You can see your boy Saturday as well if you did not get into the Friday show. Also, October 19th, guys, going to one of my favorite comedy clubs in the world. It's the Washington, D.C. Improv, October 19th. Get your tickets for that. And then the next night, October 20th, I will be at the Philadelphia Punchline. Tickets are available at paulvirzi.com. You could obviously go to the Washington, D.C. Improv's website, get them, and the Philadelphia Punchline website and get them. But I cannot wait to go out there. More dates are being added very, very shortly. You could go to paulvirzi.com for updates on that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you're going to see a more, like, I don't want it. That's the thing. Like, I don't want it. There's a fine line between getting ripped and getting lean. Sometimes you see somebody, they don't have much fat, but they're just, I don't want to look like that. I don't want to look like a fucking, I don't want to be that. Oh, hold on. I gotta pause this real quick. All right. Well, that was a phone call saying that I have to go. So anyway, I want to thank you guys. This has been a short one. I know. I really appreciate you guys listening. Next week, I have a great guest, comedian Mike Young. He's got a special out, and you guys will hear all about the stuff that he's directing. That will be next week in the studio, and we're going to have some more of that stuff as well. This is a short one, but I'm going to be doing some traveling. I wanted to make sure that I got something out to you guys. And there you go. So hope you enjoyed it. This has been TVE 551. And love you guys. You guys are the best. Stay tuned. Got some cool announcements coming up. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.